everyone, and welcome to this special episode of Independent Spotlight. I'm your host, Matt Blow, and today we are talking about the Football for a Cure event. And right now first up, we have some of the players of the Lake Orion football team. How's everyone doing today?
Very good. Thank you for having me.
Good. Well, let's just go down the line here, kind of introduce yourselves and tell us what position you guys play.
Yeah, I'm Blaze Lauer. I play quarterback.
I'm Mitch Howell, play wide receiver, free safety.
Kobe Manzo, play running back.
Sanat Palat, play corner.
Awesome. So first thing we want to talk about, gentlemen, is what does Football for a Cure mean to you guys? Anyone can answer.
I think it means that there's a lot of things in life that are bigger than like a football game. Since Lake Orion and Clarkston are really big rivals, you kind of put that aside to, enjoy. I guess not enjoy, but
Like add
Raise
on
awareness
to like
to-
such a good game. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So it's like not only is there going to be so much attention for such a big game, but then you add on like the whole aspect of bringing into like having a cause for it. Then there's going to be even more people and more people that it affects, and it's good because then there's just more of the community coming together.
Going along with what Blaze was saying about the perspective, that kind of side of the game, and it's really important for us sometimes as high schoolers and even people in the community as adults that sometimes lose our perspective. And so sometimes it's good for an event like this to bring two communities together and help us regain that perspective about, like Blaze said, there are so many things that are bigger than high school football in this world. And while it is a very big deal to our community and the Clarkston community, sometimes it's good for us to refocus that perspective and realize that there are so much bigger things ahead.
Nice to take that kind of built-in audience they have and kind of shed a light on something else.
Yeah.
For sure.
So next thing we want to ask is, I know my understanding is every player is kind of playing for at least one person, not a couple people. Let's kind of go down the line, and if you guys could tell us who you're playing for.
I don't really know who I'm playing for this year, but last year I played for Gary Miller, Matt and Nick Miller's dad. He passed away from cancer last year. So like I grew up with them since we go to school, since like probably middle school. But now, even though we'd go to different high schools, they're supposed to be rivals. I feel like we still have that connection, and I could represent their dad in a positive way.
Very cool.
Last year I did my grandfather. He's been through his fair share of cancer, and I plan on probably doing him again. It means a lot to me because I don't get to see him a lot, but he's watching. He doesn't come because he lives in Florida, but he watches through the little broadcast thing, and it means a lot to him for sure.
Awesome.
Yeah. I've had the pleasure of playing in this game for 2 years now, even though last year was the first year we actually partnered with Clarkston. And this year I'll be playing for a family friend who actually passed away from pancreatic cancer. So I think, just as these guys were saying, it really means a lot when somebody can come out there after the game and you take that jersey off your back after you've played those 4 quarters in it against that that team that's so special, that moment right there where you can hand it to them. But I think it's just as special when their loved ones and their family can come right on the field and you have that connection. Just like he said, even though you may not grow up with these people, they understand that you're out there trying to represent them in a positive way, and I think that's really special.
This year I'm playing for my grandpa, passed away from cancer last year.
So what does an event like this mean for both communities, whether it's Lake Orion and Clarkston, kind of both? What does that mean to have this kind of event?
I think it gets the people involved, because usually if it's just a normal game, they're just there to watch us play, and then they go home. But now they get to come down on the field and share a moment with us after the game, both teams. So I think it's special.
Yeah, just building off of that, just like I said, after the game, you'll see us actually line up on the field. We'll have, win or loss, doesn't matter. Our post-game processions go along as planned. We'll have Clarkston will line up on one side of the field, Lake Orion will line up on one side of the field, and we'll go down and we'll have either the person that we were playing for who has been through that fight with cancer, or the loved ones of the person who unfortunately lost that battle to cancer. They'll come down and they will go each individually. We meet them usually before the game, but if not, that'll be a good chance to talk to them. We spend a little bit of time with them, either talking to them, the one who's won, or talking about and remembering the ones who have lost that battle. And it really is, it's such a personable moment, and it really, I think for us especially, we try to be leaders in our community, and I think it really brings that to another level where people can see us down there trying to make a positive impact like that.
Great. And kind of the last thing we wanted to kind of ask and touch upon, Unlike a traditional game where it's like this rivalry against Clarkston, what does it kind of feel to kind of be playing together in a sense, kind of against cancer?
Well, I think playing together against cancer brings upon a bigger light to the community. It's like, yes, we're rivals, but we're also fighting against something bigger than it's just a game.
Yeah, and to add on that, I think that's what like sports are all about. There's always something bigger than them, even though like for us right now, that's like a full-time job, but like there's always things that are more important. And like once you walk outside your comfort zone, there are a lot of people going through things that you should be very like thankful that you do not have to go through, or maybe family members and like, yeah.
Just building off what I said earlier about how big of a deal high school football is, and we're so fortunate to have great supportive communities that will come out every Friday night. I know for us especially, and just they're out there through thick and thin to support us, and it really means the most to us. They'll never understand, but taking that energy, and we know we have so much energy here that is focused around the scene of high school football, and taking that energy and enthusiasm and putting it towards a cause that is so important and so crucial to so many families, not just in Michigan or in Lake Orion and Clarkston. It really brings that identity to our schools and our communities, and that shifting that attention away from something that is usually the spotlight, it's good for a change.
Yeah.
I agree with you guys. I think, like high school football is really important to us because we play it. And, one day you could have like a hard practice, I guess. At the end of the day, you get to go home and go to sleep, and it doesn't really bother you after that. But for these people who have cancer, they don't get to go home after practice. They have to deal with it for, however long they have it. And I think it's just, you realize that, every day is a battle for them, unlike us.
Well, as we're kind of wrapping up here, is there anything else you guys want to mention to our audience or anyone else?
Just be sure to
Check out for more
check out
information. You can go to the
information,
link. Consider coming out and kind of participating in the event and kind of
Yep.
experiencing the
It's
whole
gonna be a great
thing. And
I think the great thing about this sporting event is that you don't have to be a fan of either side. You don't have to be a Lake Orion fan. You don't have to be on there rooting on the Wolves. It's about supporting a bigger cause. So that's the one thing that stands out about this sporting event.
well put. All right, well, that's all for this segment. Next up, we'll have the Clarkston team. Continuing our Independent Spotlight special, talking about football for a cure, we now have the members of the Clarkston football players team. How's everyone doing today?
Pretty good.
Good, good. First things first, let's just go down the line. If you guys could kind of introduce yourselves, tell us your name and what position you play.
I'm Kai Zista, and I play the defensive end.
My name is Owen Hall, and I play outside linebacker.
My name's Nick Miller, and I play wide receiver and punt returner.
Awesome. So first things first, gentlemen. What does the football for a cure mean to you guys?
It means that both communities, like Orion and Clarkston, can both come together to support a cause that no one wants to go through. Everyone that even hears the word cancer knows that it's not good, even if it's not that bad. So I feel like it just helps people that need help more than we need help for them.
The game, during this game, we play for bragging rights, Clarkson and Lake Orion being rivals, but we get to set that aside and play for something bigger than ourselves, and that's either people who have been affected or have affected even our lives from cancer. It's just a great cause.
Right. So next, kind of going down the line, tell us kind of who you're playing for in this game.
Me personally, I really don't know yet. I have two in my mind, is my grandfather who has stage 4 colon cancer, or my great friend and neighbor, Celeste Wood, who just recently passed due to pancreatic cancer.
I am playing for a boy who went to my elementary school named Ryan Kennedy. He was 10 years old when he died of brain cancer, and he would be a senior this year, so we'd been friends with their family for a long time. I thought I'd sort of pay them respects.
Sure.
I'm playing for my dad, who passed away last year of lung cancer.
What does an event like this mean for the community, both kind of Clarkston and Lake Orion?
I feel like it means a lot. Last 2 years I didn't play football, but for my senior year I wanted to come out and play for my dad, and I feel like this game really kind of makes us come together as one instead of two rivals.
Kind of the last question, which is a little similar to the last one, but in a traditional game, it's you guys against Lake Orion or against the other team. But this game, you're kind of playing on the same side in that you're kind of playing against cancer. Can you kind of tell us a little bit about that, or maybe kind of the mindset of going into a game like that?
I mean, in the big picture, it's just high school football. We could be rivals. We could knock each other's teeth out. But in the long run, you only get 2 years of high school football. If some people do get to go up and play college or D1 football, some people it ends after their senior year. So I mean, if you can help someone while playing high school football, I mean, I feel like that's a great cause, even if it's someone that you never knew or something like that.
I feel like you have to go into this game where it's like usually you're going up against the other team, but I feel like, I didn't get to play in the game last year, but I feel like I'm going to have the mentality that Lake Orion is kind of like our teammates in this game when we're playing a football game against cancer.
Great. Well, as we're kind of wrapping up, is there anything else you guys want to kind of talk about or mention to maybe our audience at home?
Well, we're raising money by buying shirts, and all this money that we get will go to cancer survivors to pay for non-medical bills, like to buy gas so they can get to and from treatment, or to buy groceries, because when you have cancer, a lot of times you can't work, so you can't really get that money. So.
Great. And we'll have more information down below about if people want to go to the game or they just want more information. We'll have that information at the bottom of your screen there. Well, gentlemen, thank you so much for coming by today. Next up, we have Diana and Carrie from McLaren, Clarkston. How's everyone doing today?
Well, thank you.
Good. So you guys are a big part of Football for a Cure, so we wanted to kind of get the other perspective of this. So first of all, how would you describe this event? Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, this actually marks our 10th year that we've been working with the Clarkston School program, football program, for Football for a Cure. And this will be the second year we're working with the Lake Orion community. We're excited to partner with them again this year. When we started 10 years ago, it was an inter-squad game with just the Clarkston football team. They traded in their jerseys for the night for pink and blue jerseys and played an inter-squad game. But since then, we've evolved into a league game against Clarkston's
So it's
rival.
kind of gotten bigger and bigger over the years.
Yes, every year it gets a little bit bigger and better. The bigger it gets, the more funds we can raise to help
Sure.
patients in our own community. So we're really excited. The concept again this year is the players or community members, anybody can sponsor the back of a jersey in honor or memory of someone touched by cancer. And that's a little bit about the game. And after the game, the players all meet on the field with the recipient of the jersey. They get to make that connection. It's a pretty moving moment down on the field. And this year we're going to extend it and hope to open the gymnasium up for a little meet and greet afterwards with some cider and donuts.
Fantastic. So tell us a little bit about how the proceeds directly benefit those in need.
Yep, so the patients that come to our center in Clarkston and Bloomfield can apply for grants. And so the grants can be up to $1,500. There's a criteria that they have to meet, like 250% of the federal poverty level. They have to not necessarily show proof, but after meeting with the social worker, you kind of have an idea of who qualifies and who doesn't. So the proceeds help pay non-medical expenses. So rent, car, insurance, mortgage
Just the
payments,
day-to-day
just
life
day-to-day
stuff.
DTE, consumer, powers. And so that way we are concentrating on that for them, then they can concentrate on the medical expense portion of their oncology care, which you can imagine is really expensive.
Right.
So that's how the proceeds help our patients. And we're just thrilled to have Lake Orion again this year.
Oh, yeah.
That community's done a fantastic job of coming on board, and the boys are fantastic. I mean, they've taken away their rivalry,
Yes.
and they're fighting together for us, for our patients,
Right.
which it's a blessing.
which
Yeah,
are our community members.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, we
And-
touched upon that in the boys' interviews where it was like, hey, it's they're rivals, sure, but
Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
a different kind of rivalry. You know,
For
it's,
sure.
it's you know
Yeah.
more for against joining together against for a cause.
Yes,
you know.
yeah. And Clarkston, they've been on board for 10 years.
Yeah.
And, we can't say enough about the community in Clarkston, how much they've supported our patients over the years, so.
And it's exciting to see year after year how a little bit more engaged each community gets as well. I mean, this year the boys were instrumental in designing the T-shirts that we're wearing. They played a significant part in the jersey design that both teams will be wearing. So it's just, I mean, they're embracing it. They're wrapping their arms around it, and you kind of see that from their interviews.
We've kind of touched upon it, but what does an event like this do you think means for the community, for Clarkston, for Lake Orion?
Overall, I think it's just strengthening our community. We talked a little bit about, whether it's our neighbor, our family, a friend, there's somebody in our community that needs our help, and being able to give back directly to our community just speaks volumes. And you heard the boys also talk about this is more than just a football game.
Right.
Yes, it's a rival game and it's a really important game, but there's life after football.
Right.
And them knowing that, I just have to, give a shout out to the parents, the teachers, and the coaching staff for having them open their mind to that and understand that it's important to give back to their community because there are people that need it. When they're get that diagnosis and they're not able to work and wondering how they're going to pay for their bills is if we can take that burden away from them, we want to be able to do that. And then this event
Exactly.
for 10 years has been able to help people in our community, and we're extremely thankful.
Yeah.
Deanna and I have been part of this event since we started 10 years ago, and we've seen it grow, and it's just, I would just like to take a moment and thank the Lake Orion community coaching staff, the supportive staff, the parents, the students, same for Clarkston, the coaching staff, supportive staff, administration, parents. We could not do this without you. The Football for a Cure committee works tireless hours, volunteer hours, and it's all to give back to our community. So on behalf of McLaren Oakland Foundation, we would just like to say thank you because we can't do it without you.
Well, as we're kind of wrapping up here, is there anything else you guys want to mention about the event itself or anything else?
No, I mean, I think Carrie has said it all. We just appreciate everybody's efforts, the tireless hours people have worked, the thousands of dollars that have been raised and spent on behalf of our patients.
Awesome.
Yeah. So if you're interested, there's T-shirts available at Carmanos Clarkston and at the McLaren Breast Center. We're also going to be throughout the community. I know there's an event coming up in Lake Orion that they're going to be selling the shirts at. We'll be down at Taste of Clarkston. So please check out the McLaren Oakland website, the McLaren Oakland Foundation website for more information on the game and where you can locate the T-shirt.
Awesome. Well, that's all the time we have for this special of Independent Spotlight, and we'll see you folks next time.
Thank you.
Thank you.